Hey guys, it's
Welcome
me, Micah, and Elisha.
back.
Welcome back to Lower Your Expectations. And today we're going to talk about a cool, interesting show
Yes.
called Loki.
As we're recording this, it came out yesterday. And we watched it last night.
We watched it last night. Okay, what should we start with? Didn't really have a plan. We should have had a plan.
We were excited for Loki.
We were excited for Loki, yes. I think Loki's a cool character. He's a great character. And, like, from the beginning to the end of everything he was in, it was just every scene with him was a joy.
Major spoilers for Loki.
Wait, we should just say what we thought of it first, and then we'll get into spoilers. Okay, so I loved... Special effects were great, of course. It was really cool. It was interesting how they did it.
In some ways, it kind of unnerved you because, like, usually Loki says something witty, but it's like scary or something, and it like threatening people. Like people get offended or something.
But now he's in a situation where he's powerless.
And then this time he says something witty. They're like, okay, whatever, and you're just like.
Huh?
Yeah. It's not what we're used to.
Mm-hmm. Overall, what were your thoughts, Elisha?
I thought it was done well. Mm-hmm. It definitely left the first episode. We're only talking about the first episode. It left you wanting more. 'Cause, like, he kind of had, like, this thing where he realized that he died later. And he was scared of that. And he didn't exactly want to be the person that he was. So he just kind of like realizes all that stuff. And like now we want to know what is he going to do now that he's realized this.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
What did you
I really liked it. I mean, of course, the person who plays Loki, I forget their name.
Oh, I forget his name either. But he is amazing.
He is a really good actor for Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was... The rest of the cast was great.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, Marvel they always get great cast members, except for Brie Larson.
Except for... That's a story for a different time, guys.
That's a story for a different time. So... Yeah, it was cool. Now we're going to get into spoilers. Spoiler alert, spoilers ahead. If you don't want to get spoiled on Loki or have not watched it yet, which that is understandable, it has been 3 days. It has been like 4 days. 5 days since it came out, so you should have watched it already. If you haven't, watch it. It's cool. But, spoilers ahead. So, Loki was cool. So basically the whole plot of it is, after Endgame, if you haven't seen Endgame, I mean, what are you even doing? What are you even doing with your life?
During Endgame, Loki bends down, picks up the Tesseract.
Which is the Space Stone of the Infinity Stones.
And he disappears.
Poof, he gone.
And so then in Loki we learned that he wasn't supposed to do that.
He wasn't supposed to, which I don't understand. We'll get to my what would I call it? My grievances with Loki later.
Your low points.
The low points. But we're gonna focus on the high points first. He then goes to
He then gets captured by
the
people.
TVA, who are supposed to, like, protect the sacred timeline, which is, like, all of the MCU is basically, like, one strand of timeline, and it's, like, the sacred timeline.
Yeah.
And if the TVA weren't protecting it, it would branch off into chaos and stuff. So, yeah. Cool. I didn't really mind that.
I thought that was cool. Like
I didn't think it was cool or bad. I was kind of.
I was like
ambivalent about
people have like put forward the idea of a multiverse before. Like we
Mhm.
watched Flash, like the show before, and they
And
had
Spider-Man
and
into
Spider-Man
the
into the
into the
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, which is
Like,
actually it actually has a number in the MCU, not MCU, but Marvel universe. Each timeline has a number.
yeah.
The main comics one is 616. The MCU is like 19999.
But like that idea isn't original. But the idea that there needs to be one timeline and that just so that other timelines don't come and mess with it and everything gets too
Out of
much.
control.
That I thought that was very unoriginal. That was very like that was.
You didn't mean unoriginal, right? You meant original.
Oh, that was very original.
It was original.
That was their own.
And
that was.
I love the style of. I mean, sometimes style is kind of meh, like Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
but in some of the later Iron Man movies and Cap's costume in Avengers, sometimes the style is kind of It's serviceable, sure, but it can be kind of whatever. Yeah. But the analog, like kind of the retro tech, kind of thing with the TVA, love it. I love it.
Like I like
the whole style of it, like the atmosphere and the style of it.
Clean and like orderly, but also like it
like otherworldly.
Otherworldly and like technological, but like it just fit everything that the TVA was supposed to be, and it just put you in the right atmosphere.
Uh-huh. So then Loki is like pulled into he's a time variant, which is like he wasn't supposed to grab the space stone. I'll get to my things with that later. So he that happened. So he didn't really so he just kept they brought him for trial and they sentenced him to be reset into the original timeline.
And then
the branch timeline was like blown up.
Yeah.
So then he is like.
Then there's this guy. I thought he was Howard Stark at first.
Mobius.
His name is Mobius.
Like Mobius strip.
Yeah. Like the never-ending impossible strip.
Yeah. Like the Tesseract is an impossible like. A Tesseract is an impossible cube.
Like a geometric figure.
Geometric shape that humans cannot see. Yeah. Mobius strips are something.
We can see, but.
No, it's like something else.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Similar.
Non-Euclidean geometry. That's what it's called. So, Loki is a time variant. He's a criminal, and they and then Mobius comes in. Is like in a cliche fashion. I didn't have a problem with it. It was like kind of a cliche fashion. Hey, I know he's in trouble, but to save him from this, why don't you hand him over to me so we can fix this other dude that's killing our time cops?
Yeah.
And so Mobius has this cool little moment with like this TV thing that shows all of Loki's life, and Loki learns that his mom.
That he kind of like leads his mom to die.
Leads his mom to die and stuff like that, and how he dies. And then also, Phil Coulson is supposed to be dead, but in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's not dead. So maybe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is an alternate timeline?
Wait, was that with Agent Carter?
No, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was another TV show.
Oh, that we apparently didn't watch.
That we did not watch. Dad said it was not very good, and I believe him. But Phil Coulson was alive in that. So it's not like... It's probably a branch timeline. Ooh.
Maybe they'll bring it all together and Loki.
Yeah. So...
Anyway, so he sees that, like, he sees basically that he's gonna die in the future. And so that kind of, like, he's just like,
Shakes him up a little
I
bit.
don't want to die. I don't want to go back to my old self and just die. And so he goes and he steals the Tesseract back.
And
Right.
and basically the rest of it is like a cool little action sequence.
Yeah. Where they're like chasing him.
Or they're like, it's like a cool little chase sequence. There's some cool elements and mechanics in it that were introduced and then reused in a cool way.
Mm-hmm.
But then, then this episode ends with Mobius telling us that the time variant that they're trying to catch, that's killing all their time cops and stealing their erasing time, like, they erase, they have these little charges that erase branch timelines. So a person's been stealing those.
Then the person, so they need Loki's help to get him
because he is
Loki.
He is Loki,
but from a different
timeline.
So that'll be
a different time variant Loki.
That was a good.
And a lot of people have been suspecting that it's a woman Loki.
Ooh, because we never saw the whole.
Yeah.
We just saw.
And also, it listed Loki's gender as fluid on the little sheet Mobius got about him. Because in Norse mythology, Loki is neither a guy or a girl. He kind of shapeshifts.
Well, yeah, he's a shapeshifter, and so that's very possible that the other Loki could be a girl.
It's very possible. There's a lady Loki. That was her actual name. That was in the comics. So it's possible. It's definitely possible, and I think it would be cool. And it was funny because like people were like, "Oh my God, Mephisto!" It's not Mephisto. It's not Mephisto.
And I think they did set themselves up well for that, because like he's kind of like fighting against himself. But he was already kind of fighting against himself in an emotional kind of way.
Cool. Yeah,
and he was like when I first thought that it's Loki versus Loki. Bringing the girl in might be a good idea, but also if it was a guy that looked exactly like Loki, that could also be like the kind of the nebula thing that happened in Endgame, where there were two nebulas. And like you couldn't really tell
they're not gonna do the same thing twice.
But like I mean, like something not the same thing, but something similar to that. I mean, there's
the person who wrote Loki also wrote the first draft of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Ooh.
So he could in an interview he said that someone asked him if he was setting up things in Loki that would come in Doctor Strange, and he said it was entirely possible, and they would just have to wait and see, which probably means yes. So, that was my thoughts, basically. I liked a lot of the style. Of course, I loved the style. The storytelling was cool. But this is just the first part of it. So, I'm not going to judge the whole thing, yay or nay, based on just the first episode, but the first episode alone, that's cool. You should watch it.
That was good.
It was good.
I thought
Final review, it was cool.
Yeah, I thought they did good with the humor as well.
The humor?
The humor
between Loki, the Marvel humor. Yeah. Marvel humor.
I thought it was very quirky.
Grievances. Alright, so grievances. 1. Loki not supposed to have picked up the Space Stone. Why? Okay, so what happens? So the Avengers were apparently supposed to go back in time
to fix
Thanos. But Loki was not supposed to pick up the Tesseract. How? So, let me explain. Tony Stark, Ant-Man, there's something with Tony Stark's heart, and he dropped the case. Ant-Man kicked it over to Tony from the future, who picked up the case and walked with it, but then he gets knocked over by the Hulk, who comes down the stairs and is angry because he was down the stairs. And then it slides right over to Loki. Okay, if Loki's not supposed to pick it up,
what else?
and everything else was supposed to happen, then what did you expect Loki to do?
Like, Loki is the god of mischief.
And he wants to be free, of course. How is he not going to bend down and pick it up? How is that not supposed to happen? That was my grievance. That was kind of confusing to me.
That didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. And the whole thing about these time cops, like, controlling everything about the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll probably bring it up later, but, like, the absence of, like, it seemed to take away all of Marvel's characters' decisions.
Yeah.
Like, what if Tony did not decide to become Iron Man? And just went back to his regular life? They would have captured that Tony as a time variant and put it back in the sacred timeline.
It kind of makes you feel like
nothing was the character's choice.
I guess it kind of gestures to, like, it wasn't entirely the character's choice at all. It was the writer's choice that did that.
And if it's not the character's choice to be good or evil, are they really good?
Or are they really evil? Or are they just really going along with the sacred timeline? Why does the sacred timeline exist at all if people are just being puppets?
That was strange, and it has the possibility to ruin everything.
Yes.
I appreciate the gamble, but I bet that there's a plan with it. But
it makes me wonder if, in the end, the
TVA will, like, completely dissolve, and, like,
if they'll dissolve.
And we'll have multiverses.
And they'll be like, yeah, the multiverse is a good thing. So, like, people can actually make their decisions.
I feel like it might. That's how they bring in the multiverse.
And, like, how did the Spider-Verse work if there was only one timeline?
Because all of these are canonically connected to the MCU, by the way. The comics, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, they're all connected canonically. Even the X-Men movies, they're all canonically connected to the MCU. So how does that work?
Like, if, like, it's supposed to, in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, there is a multiverse. And it does exist.
And Spider-Man No Way Home is gonna have multiversal elements. And Doctor Strange, the multiverse of madness. So there's gonna be something with. There's gonna be a resurgence of a multiverse.
Because if now Loki is like that, like, if in 2012, that's when that all happened, and he got the Tesseract, and he went away.
Yeah.
In that time, Spider-Man was Spider-Man from this universe. He was still kind of young. I wonder if all the other things of the Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse, like Miles Morales, could be born after the multiverse.
Well, I think they're gonna do some time trickery. That's gonna happen.
Yes.
So what I think is gonna happen is, because the TVA is kind of gestured to be, like, kind of outside of time.
Yeah.
So once the TVA dissolves, everything from the beginning to the end will have multiverses again.
Yes.
So it'll just be a blanket sweep solution.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they are going to. No, it's going to be Loki that, like, dissolves the TVA.
Or convinces Mobius to dissolve it.
Or from the inside, or they turn out to be, like, the Timekeepers turn out to be evil. and just like wanting their way and everything.
Well, that's kind of what's been hinted at.
Yeah.
This
with Loki being against them.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they realize that the timekeepers are like they're bad.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not gonna judge the whole thing on the first episode.
No.
There's a huge amount of potential for a great show here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. But there's also huge potential to ruin the entire MCU.
Yeah.
So
it would have been cool for them to hint at the timekeepers before. So that people could were they in the comics at all?
Yeah, the TVA is in the comics.
If so, it would have been cool if they were hinted at in the comics, even like a couple of lines. And people are like, are they gonna bring the TVA in? And then they do.
Well, the TVA are in the comics. That's the thing. They're a thing.
I know. But like the thing with Agatha and WandaVision, that was
where you can see kind of the multiversal thing.
That was like people were predicting that before it even happened, right?
What?
Like that she was Agatha.
Yeah.
That must have been such a cool moment for them, and they were like, "I was right, Agatha. That is."
Agatha Harkness.
That would have been cool for them to do that with the timekeepers as well.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Anyway, this has been probably too long.
Longer
than we wanted
it to be. So we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the video and all that jazz. And we shall see you in the next one.
Tell us if you want more of this.
Next time, we'll probably do a review of the next Loki.
one, yes.
Next time on Lower Your Expectations.
Bye.
Goodbye, lovelies.